We all know what it's like to soften our words before we've even shared an opinion. Today is about understanding why this happens and how to break the cycle. By the end of our time together, you'll see these patterns in a new light. Let's uncover what really drives this habit and how to. Think about the last time you started with an apology before sharing what was on your mind. These sorry statements slip out before we even realize it. What does it do to our confidence when we shrink our voice right at the start? Softeners like these make us smaller before we've even said anything real. Let's look at what's really behind this impulse to apologize before we speak. When our sense of self-worth is unstable, these habits tend to show up. Ever catch yourself asking for permission just to have a voice in the room? Why should sharing our thoughts feel risky? We're going to dig into the root reasons pre-apology happens. Once self-worth feels stable, this behavior can truly disappear. Let's find out what makes this possible. I want to share my own experience with this habit. For years, I found myself apologizing before almost every opinion. It happened in meetings, with friends, even in close relationships. On the surface, I seemed confident and put together, but inside, I was constantly second-guessing myself. Apologizing became my shield, a way to soften what I said before I even spoke. It felt safer to hide behind these apologies than to risk being direct. I know firsthand how easy it is to fall into this pattern. Looking back, I realized how much it shrank my own sense of value. Pre-apologizing wasn't about courtesy or manners. It was about making myself smaller to avoid discomfort. Deep down, I believed my voice was somehow disruptive. If I spoke up without softening, I risked feeling dismissed. So instead, I learned to apologize first, thinking it kept me safe, but in the process, I was quietly erasing my own presence. Let's be honest, every time we lead with an apology, we shrink our presence right out of the gate. It's as if we're quietly asking for permission rather than owning our spot in the room. Each of these small apologies chips away at our credibility without us realizing it. Notice how these habits stack up, silently lowering how others respond to us. This isn't just about manners, it's signaling our own uncertainty before we've even begun. When you catch yourself doing this, remember it's your voice and your ideas that belong in the conversation. This is the heart of why we pre-apologize. Conditional self-worth convinces us to shrink ourselves just to be safe. When our value depends on outside validation, we end up minimizing our voice. If I'm only worthy when others approve, of course I play small. But the shift happens when self-worth feels stable from within. With inherent self-worth, there's no need to disarm or tiptoe before speaking. Confidence grows not from perfection, but from knowing our value isn't conditional. Standing in inherent self-worth lets us show up unapologetically. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, I want to invite you to something deeper. This isn't just about changing words, but addressing what's underneath. The self-silencing reset is where we tackle these core issues, not just surface habits. We focus on changing both the behavior and how our nervous system reacts. Applications for the next session are open and the link is below. If you want to learn more, if you're ready for lasting change, this is where it starts. Stay with me for a preview of how this shift can actually last. Ontological self-worth means our value comes from simply existing, not from achievements or others' reactions. With this perspective, my voice is automatically val.id. No more shrinking or apologizing for taking up space. Visibility isn't dangerous when self-worth is grounded within. That internal sense of safety dissolves the old urge to pre-apologize. Let yourself feel the difference when your worth isn't on the line each time you speak. Let's try this in real time and see what shifts for you. Start by noticing each time an unnecessary apology almost escapes. Swap out sorry for a direct phrase, or even leave space with silence. Remind yourself you do not need to apologize just for speaking or existing. Discomfort can be a sign you're stretching out of a limiting pattern. The more you practice, the easier it gets to stand in your voice. Embrace that uncomfortable moment as proof you're changing. Notice how people interrupt you less when you own your voice. Feel the difference as you speak with more calm and confidence. Experience less need to over explain or feel resentful after conversations. You start earning respect quietly without having to push for it. The steadiness that emerges comes from within. This new way of showing up feels natural, not something you have to force. Let's take a moment to get practical and connect with each other. Think about the language you want to use instead of sorry this week. What phrase will help you state your perspective directly? Share your new phrase in the comments or in the chat. It's inspiring to see what others are trying and what feels most natural. Your ideas might give someone else the encouragement they need. This is where we start to rewrite the script together.